Hello, welcome to the introduction video for eSchool Plus. This first video will show new users all of the basic tasks and navigation skills needed to begin using the software. First thing we're going to do is log in. If you go to www.spark.org, it will take you to the Spark homepage. Down the left-hand side, you will see SunGuard eSchool Plus. If you click on it, it's going to take you to the login screen, and you're going to log in with your Dazzle credentials. It's going to take you to the Set Environment screen, where you're going to choose your school district and the school year that you would like to access. Click OK, and it'll take you to your home page. Once you're logged in, you can see that you are sitting in the current year 2016-2017. The difference between Dazzle and eSchool is that in Dazzle, you could come up here and click to access different buildings. In eSchool, you sit at the district level and then you toggle between buildings within the software, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to show you how you can change school years though. If you come down and choose a school year in the past and click OK, it'll reload your page, and then you can see this panel turn to red showing that you're in a past year. If you come back up here and go to next school year, it's going to reload your page, and this panel becomes green, showing that you're in a future school year. This is the only place that it shows you your school year, so it's important that you pay attention to what school year you're sitting in. And we'll go back to the current year. We're back to where we are started. If you need to log out of the system for any reason, you come up to the little lock icon, and you have successfully logged out. Users have the ability to set system preferences within eSchool. To do this, up in the upper right-hand corner beside your name, you can click on the arrow and select Preferences. On the screen, you can see these green bars across the screen, and this is going to be consistent throughout eSchool. We call these bars panels. In the General panel, you have the option to show Quick Help. If you check this box, a Quick Help icon, which looks like a circle with a question mark, displays for various fields throughout the software. You can click on it to display a tooltip that provides a brief description of the field. In the Student Search panel, you can include default building. If you checkmark this box, your security building defaults in Student Center searches. For example, if you have access to the high school building and the middle school building, but in your security profile, your default building is high school, it will just default to bring search results that match the high school in your student searches. In the current status field, you can select student status options to default when you do a simple search in the Student Center. For these type of drop-downs throughout the system, when you have an asterisk, you can click it to pull all available options into your search, or you can click it to get rid of all of them. You also have the option to drop down and choose multiple choices. In the last field here is the single student detail. If you check this box, the student search would navigate to the appropriate detail page when the criteria returns only a single student record. This just saves a click within the system because it bypasses the list with just that one student and takes you to the detail page. In the last panel, you are going to select your theme, and this is the color of the panels throughout the system. So you have the option to choose between all of these beautiful colors. Once you have your preferences selected, as you can see up top, we have a yellow icon that says that my changes are unsaved. If I try to navigate anywhere else within the software, it's going to pop up a prompt that tells me that I have changes not saved. If I click yes to save them or no to not save them, and it moves along to where I was going to navigate. You also have the option to come into the upper right hand corner and click Save. Once I do this, as you can see, my icon changes to green, indicating that my changes have been saved. This will be consistent throughout the software. Alright, we have successfully set our user preferences. The next topic we're going to talk about in eSchool is the online help. To access the online help, you can click on the question mark at the top of any page within the system. I cannot stress how important this item is. The online help is one of the nicest features of the software. It really empowers users because if you have a question, chances are the answer is in the help section. It's also nice because it's responsive throughout the system, so no matter what screen you are on, the appropriate help is going to pop up. This saves users a lot of time. You don't have to search for your answers. So because I was on the home page, when I clicked on the help for the home page is what populates. As you can see down the left-hand side is the table of contents for the help. So I can click on any topic and it will expand. And up here on my menu options, I can click to collapse all or expand all topics. I have the option to print any page from the help. This, if you are searching for an item, so let's say I want to search for master schedule help. I go to the master schedule page. This highlights various words that matched what I was searching for. If I click this, it just gets rid of the highlights. For some users, that's a little annoying, so you have the option to do that as well. So the search feature is nice within the help. And another nice thing, if you can't find what you're looking for up here, and you are one of the users who likes to have a guide or a paper copy, you can come down here at the bottom, and this is located on every help page as well, and you can select all eSchool Plus guides, and this gives you the menu for any help guide within eSchool by package. So you can select the quick start guides. This goes through each package, so attendance, behavior, demographics for geocode, medical, scheduling, and student fees. So if you want to print off the scheduling manual, it will open up a PDF, and then it'll give you the option to download it so you could save it to your computer, or you could print it. Navigation in eSchool can happen one of two ways. As you use the system more and more, you'll probably be accustomed to one way over the other. The first is this quick search method. To use this, you're going to type keywords up here in the quick search bar. The system will return the top 10 matches. So let's say I'm searching for master schedule. It's going to pull up the top menu results. If I hover over one, as you can see over to the right, there's sort of a carrot trail or breadcrumb trail, which I'm going to show you the next way in a minute. So if I click on the menu item, it's going to take me to that appropriate screen. Back on the home screen, I'm going to show you the other way to search. So you have the quick search method where you type in keyword or words. You also have the mega menu method. This menu shows all of the available packages within eSchool, and then each package has submenus attached to it. So let's go down to the scheduling submenu, and it breaks it up into a menu for courses, and as you can see, it has different categories as they relate to courses, student schedules, and all of the different categories relating to student schedules, and then the utilities menu is usually some type of calculation or menu items relating to mass updating throughout the system for that package. If I go back to courses, you can see that when I typed in master schedule, it showed scheduling, courses, course sections, and master schedule. So if I follow that breadcrumb trail, I can get to the menu item using the mega menu. And this takes me to the same place. You can also use the quick search to search for students. If you come up in the quick search bar, you can search by first name, last name, or student ID. Please note that you cannot use an SSID here in the search. I'm going to type the student's first name. It will return up to 10 results. If you hover over a student, you're going to get some information about which building the student is enrolled in, the grade level they are in, how old they are, and you'll also see a picture of the student. Once you have found the student you're searching for, you can click on that student, and it'll bring you to the student summary page. On this page, you can get further information about the student in regards to demographics, registration, personal and educational factors, locker information, medical information, the student's contact records, as well as any alerts, and then any attendance and scheduling information. To search for groups of students who meet certain criteria, you can use a simple or advanced search. This is also the search you will use to locate data for inactive students, as the quick search only returns active student information. To use one of these search options, you're going to click on the magnifying glass here. And it's going to take you to the student search. As you can tell, we are on the simple search because it's highlighted in green. The simple search gives you a limited number of fields to find students. If you want to search for a single student, you can easily enter their last name, their student ID, and click the Load Records button, and it would return results for the one student. If you want to search for a group of students, let's say you want to find all students in the elementary building, you can choose from that field, load your records, and you're going to get all students from the elementary. Let's say that you want to have all students in the elementary in grade 3. You can apply multiple filters to your fields, and you get the information. So let's build a simple report for, let's do birthdays. So I am going to first enter in my criteria. I'm going to pull Spark Elementary students. I want students in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and kindergarten. I also want only active students. So those are the criteria I'm going to use to search. And when I get my results, if I want certain things listed, I can include that in the list field selection. So I'm going to do demographic, last name. Now you can also just type and it goes a little bit quicker. You can do first name and then you can tab over and it's just personal preference. I also want to do demographic birth date. I want demographic grade level and demographic primary homeroom. So now that I've built my simple search, I'm going to double check it. So again, I'm pulling out results for elementary students who are in grades K through 5, and I only want active students. And when I pull my report, I want it listed with last name, first name, birth date, grade, and primary homeroom. So I'm going to go ahead and load my results. And as you can see, I have my students listed. I can export these results. I have a couple options. I can export to a PDF. It gives me some options to rename my report. So I'm just going to call it, actually I'm going to call it Simple Birthday K5. I'm going to click OK. And then I have a PDF of this. I can choose to download it and save it. I can print it. I also have the option to export it to Excel. Again, I can rename it. So I'm going to call it Simple Birthday K5. And click OK. Okay, and then I also have an Excel spreadsheet that I can, again, save, print, or do whatever I need to do with. So that is an example of using the simple search to search for a group of students. Another search option which has more capability is the advanced search. To get to the advanced search, you're going to click on the magnifying glass. As you can see right now, I'm on the simple search. I want to come over here and click on the advanced search. And by default, it will go to the last search that I performed. So I'm going to clear out the results before we start. So this feature is much more powerful because users can utilize a wide range of fields to find students. There's always an option to apply various conditions and operators in the search criteria, as opposed to the simple search when we had to choose from a select field. In this one, we build the report from scratch. So in the simple search, we build a birthday report. Now we're going to take this one more step further and narrow it down even more. So the first thing we have to do is fill in our search criteria. So I'm going to start by going to demographic. I'm going to go building. I'm going to do equals. Oops, I need to do it over here. I didn't hit tab. Equals, and then I have a drop down. I'm going to use Spark Elementary School. Now when I'm doing this, I have some action buttons over here. I'm going to show you what those are real quick before I finish the search criteria. The first one is going to copy your search criteria row. So if I click this, I'm just going to get a copy of what I had. This is useful if you're looking for a selection of student IDs. You don't have to do demographic student ID equals. You can go ahead and copy this multiple times, so then you can just come down the line and type in the student IDs. The addition symbol just adds a search criteria row, and it's blank, so that you can go ahead and start building the rest of your report. And then the trash can simply deletes the row. So I just wanted to show you those before we got any further. So I'm going to do demographic building equals Spark Elementary School, and personal classification. This time I'm going to use is in, and this is where I'm going to choose my active students, court placed in, open enrolled in, I have special ed in, and superintendent in. This is going to give me all of my in-seat kids within the building. Moving on, I'm also going to do, I want students, demographic, I want birth date is in month, and I want to do all of the September birthdays. I also want to add one more search criteria. I want demographic, grade is in, and again I'm going to do my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and kindergarten. Okay, so now that I have my search criteria in, this means that I am searching for students who are registered in the elementary school building and their classification meets one of these, and their birth date is in September, and their grade is in K through 5. The difference between the and or statements, my and statements are going to produce less rows, because when I use and, the students it returns has to meet every one of those criteria, to where if I used or, it would only have to meet one of those criteria. So this is one of the bigger things to get used to when you start using this. If you're not getting the results you want, this is one of the first things I would check. Make sure that your and or statement is correct. So I went ahead and built the search criteria. Now I need to come down to my list field selection. Again, this is where I'm going to choose which fields I want to see on the results. So for this, again, I want to see demographic last name. I want to see demographic first name. I want to see demographic birth date. I want to see demographic grade. And I want to see demographic primary my homeroom. So this is going to populate the fields on my report. Another option I have on the advanced search is the ability to sort. This allows me to determine how my results are sorted in the report. So for this, let's say I'm going to sort first by demographic, grade, ascending. So it's going to pull out the students lowest to highest. Numeric always comes first, so my kindergarten students will be at the end. And then I also, after it sorts by grade, I want it to sort by demographic, last name. So I'm going to double check my report here, make sure I have everything set. So I would expect to see students in K through 5 with a classification of in and active who have a birthday in September. And I'm going to expect it to be sorted by grade and then last name. So let's go ahead and load my results. And I have 30 results come back. I have first grade. They are in alphabetical order as I would expect. And my kindergartners are at the end. Again, I have the option to export. I can export a PDF or I can export to Excel. Okay, so we just built an advanced search, and as you can see, this was a pretty simple search, but there are a ton of different areas that you can use to build some pretty complex reports. And one of the nice options in eSchool is that I can save my report to use later, so I don't have to remember how I created it. To do this, I have my advanced search that we just created up. I'm going to come up here to Save Search As, and it's going to prompt me to give it a title. So I'll call this, September birthday report. You're going to pick an area. It's kind of like a folder. And then you're going to add a description if you want to. I really don't need to because my title says what it is. And then I have the option to publish it. If I choose to publish, I can select which users I want to be able to subscribe and use this report. I also have the option to select a role. So if I want to share this with anybody who has the secretary role, I could select that. Or if I come down even further, I can select which users I want to give access to this to. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to click Save. As you can see, I have a little green icon that told me that my search saved. If I want to subscribe to someone else's report, I'm going to come up here to access my reports. As you can see, here's my September birthday report, and underneath are my subscriptions. I don't have any yet, so I'm going to click on subscribe, and it would show me any available publications that I could subscribe to. I'm going to click over here into a live database so you can actually see it. But if I come up to subscribe, here is where I would select which searches I want to subscribe to. So if I selected it and clicked OK, now you can see that shows up in my list of saved searches. So it's just another nice feature that the advanced search has. So this was a very basic introduction into the advanced search feature. This tool is very, very powerful. The biggest challenge, I think, is figuring out where all of the data is located in the different areas and which conditions and statements are the best to use. But I think once you begin working with the data, this is going to become second nature, and you're going to be able to build all of the various reports that you're going to need to meet your needs within the system. In eSchool, a lot of time users will run calculations or will do something to generate a report, and eSchool has a screen that you can go to access all of the tasks and reports. You can use it to view and retrieve anything that you have done within the system. So to access this page, in the upper right hand corner is the tasks and reports page. You can get to that from any page within eSchool. When you click on it, you can see that there are 3 panels. The first panel is the scheduled task pane, and this displays any reports or calculations that are scheduled to run. So as you can see, I have a scheduling mark reporting synchronization scheduled to run on March 18th at 12:59 a.m. and the status is waiting. The running tasks panel is going to show any reports or calculations that are currently in progress, and they will show you when they started, and they have a little progress bar that shows you that it is in progress and how much of it is complete. And then in the report pane, it's going to display any reports or logs that you have previously generated. So if I come down and click on a conduct report that I created, it's going to open that up, and then I have the option from here to download it or print it. Now you don't always have to navigate to this page. Let's say that I'm in the middle of something, say just I'm on a student detail report in attendance, and I went and I ran something. I can come up here and click on this drop down, and I can see a running task, and I also have access to my 5 most recent reports. So that's kind of nice, so that you don't always have to navigate away from the page that you are on. But again, to go back to that, you're going to click on tasks and reports, and from here you can get access to anything you may need. The last topic we're going to discuss are widgets. Widgets are graphic sections that can be added to the home page. They are customizable by user. They display as data or charts, and they can be edited during or after setup to edit the contents. So by default, each user who has access to eSchool is going to have the calendar widget and the news widget placed on their home page. And then each user has the option to customize this further. To customize, you're going to come up to the additional options, and I'm going to select Enable Edit. This is going to allow me to add rows, to add more widgets. So I'm going to decide if I want to add a panel. I can add a panel. I can edit the name of the panel. And then within the panel, I can add my widgets. There are a variety of widgets to select from. Let's just do an enrollment. It'll show you a little preview. I can click OK. If I want to come here and just add a widget, it will add the widget with the panel. It'll just give me the title of the widget itself. So as you can see, now I have 4 different panels on my screen. I can resize them by hovering over to get the double arrows, and then within the page it will auto correct according to size. I can choose to drag and drop if I want to move them around. Once I am done doing that, I can come up to Save Layout. If you have the security, you are able to edit the news items that will appear on the home page for your users. And to do this, you're going to come up to the menu. You're going to come down to eSchool Plus, under Entry, and click News. This allows you to go ahead and schedule different news items. So if you'd like to schedule out in advance, the end of your marking period, you could go ahead and do that. You're going to select an effective and expiration date. You can also choose who sees the news items, if you want your office employees to see it or simply your teachers. To add a news item, you come up to the add sign, and then it's going to open up a news panel. You can just go ahead. I'm just going to do a test one. It would help if I could type. Test. I want it to show up today, and then the date that it comes down, it'll come down at the end of that day. I can pick which buildings I want this to show up for, and then I choose if I want office employees or teachers or both to see it. Once I'm finished, I save my changes, and then when I go back to the home page, you can see the news items are both there.